everybody, this is Sarahscopic and you're watching Traffic Musings. Tell me in the comments below your favorite, horror, TV show or video game, whichever you do. Whatever your favorite is. You don't even have to have played the video game if you'd like to watch it, that's fine too. I mean, it's like watching TV. Tell me just what your favorite is in the comments below. Yeah. It is foggy today. Well, it's been foggy the last couple of days, and it's kind of creepy because I can't tell if I'm in a Silent Hill video game or if I am in a video game but someone didn't up the draw distance of this world. Holy crap, it's ridiculous. Because of the fog, it is just so creepy and unnerving out here, and at night it's even worse. I was with my mom and we were coming home after getting dinner, and thankfully we were really close to home because it was so thick with fog and dark. We couldn't see probably a good 10 feet in front of us, and so we took all the back roads trying to go home, and it was fine, but we have roads in our neighborhood where there are no sidewalks but ditches on each side, and oh, those are the worst because you just never know where you're gonna land into a ditch. I don't exactly know why it looks like a horror film over here, besides the obvious fact that we have a new president who's probably making things like a horror movie, but we at Sarahscopic try not to get too political, but it's kind of hard not to in this day and age. Anyway, but I didn't really know what else to talk about in relation to the fog, so I thought I would just tell you what I consider the scariest moment in my life. I haven't had a lot of scary moments in my life. I'm very thankful for that. And in fact, some parts of my life that I would say that probably were scary, I kind of don't really recall too well. I don't really get scared, really scared easily. I'm one of those people where it's what's your biggest fear, Sarah? And I look at you, I'm like, failure of everyone and losing everyone I love. You know what I mean? I'm not really that afraid of spiders. I'm not really that scared of the dark. It's not, yeah, I don't like the idea of getting hurt, and I don't really like horror films all that much. And I might get, bad dreams from horror films. In fact, actually, something I will tell you, I guess not related, but now I'm just thinking of it, so stream of consciousness, excuse me. So this isn't that weird, but I am one of those people that if you tell me, about a horror film or something, there's a good chance I'll at some point have a nightmare about it. This has happened for, 3 different movies. Well, one of those was a TV show, but 3 different, forms of entertainment. When I was younger and The Ring had first come out, I didn't see it because I was I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever. I didn't see it. I wasn't old enough to see it. I had no desire to see it. But I did have my cousin explain to us about The Ring, the movie, and what it was about and what happened and such. And when he was telling me it creeped me out. It did creep me out. It did scare me a bit. And it got to the point that when I went to bed that night, I did have a nightmare about The Ring. It wasn't a real, I woke up panting kind of nightmare. Because it wasn't, I should say, it's not I have, intense, oh my gosh, stressful in the actual movie. It's just more of, the movie's happening, and I'm just kind of experiencing it. And it's not super high stress, but it's creepy. So I had that for The Ring. I also had it for, the Alien movies. This one I don't really understand because I swear I'd heard about the Alien movies a while ago, but this didn't happen recently. I would say it happened probably, 6 years ago, which I know is not recent, but I still remember those years they happened yesterday sometimes, and so that's why I have to kind of keep that in mind. But I think I'd heard about the Alien movies, but for whatever reason, someone explained to me in depth what, the aliens did and how they were born from you and, came out of your stomach. And so this dream I do remember. I don't remember the Ring dream very well. I just remember I had it, but because it was so long ago. But the alien dream I do remember, because what happened was I'm walking around and an alien appears before me and says, oh, by the way, I laid an egg in your stomach, and so it's gonna come out of you and you're gonna die. And I was like, what? Why? Why would you do that? Trying to reason with this alien, why it implanted an egg in me. And it was just I'm sorry. It actually apologized to me, I'm sorry, but you're still gonna die. And so what the dream was about was me having to tell my family members that I was gonna die because I had an alien egg in my stomach that was gonna explode and kill me. And I forget what else I was doing. I think I was bucket list stuff. I'm doing all these things I've always wanted to do before I die. So it's more a fear of dying. And it was, I guess, related to the fact, excuse me, about the Alien movie. So, I mean, that was a thing that happened. The last scary dream I had, this is going to be a reference probably no one's going to know, but I don't know if you guys ever saw the show, the anime, excuse me, Paranoia Agent. I never actually finished it. When I first started watching it, I was probably a little young for it. I was probably around 13, and that's kind of a mature film. It's not for the light of stomach, and it's basically, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a paranormal investigation story. Paranoia Agent. There's this boy with a golden baseball bat. He's called Lil Slugger. That seems to be going around and killing people, and these two agents are two detectives are trying to figure out why, and it ends up being very weird and stuff like that. My brother and I started watching it when we were younger, and we were super into it. We were like, oh my gosh, this is so interesting. We had all these theories, and we know the ending now, and I remember at the time we thought the ending was like super lame. I'm not going to spoil it in case anybody watches it. We thought the ending was super lame. Looking back on it now, we're actually thinking of rewatching it, because now that we're a little bit older, we're like, we can kind of appreciate the ending actually a little bit more, and so I'd like to actually watch the whole thing someday. Anyway, I didn't watch the whole thing, but it was so funny is I did see several episodes, and watching those episodes didn't really freak me out. Like, it freaked me out, like I was a little bit scared, but I didn't have nightmares. The only time I ever had a nightmare was when one of the episodes was explained to me. I never saw this episode, but my brother told me about this episode. And long story short, this episode was about, because part of the theme around this has to do with a lot of like people being depressed, because Japan has a bit of a weird, not Japan as a whole, but certain writers of manga with psychological horror have a weird, not obsession, but kind of interest, I'll just say. I don't want to sound like everybody's like this, but an interest in suicide ideation and depression and such, because unfortunately in Japan, suicide rates are quite high. I'm not going to get into that reason why, but they are pretty high. And so it's a thing that has captured interest of many writers. And so that was a theme throughout this story was this people, a lot of the victims of Little Slugger were people who wanted to die, it turns out, or had a reason to want to die. So anyway, that's kind of a theme that you see. So one of the episodes was about a high school kid who in Japan, I actually don't even know if this is true anymore, but they showed this in anime, and they say this, high school students, like their last year, have like these major senior tests they have to take to figure out what college they're going to go into, and if they don't pass, then they, it's not good. So it's very stressful. Like, just keep that in mind. It's this very stressful test that, like, all their years of education up to this point rely on, basically. And so it is known that these tests can be very stressful on kids. And so there was the story of this high school kid who had to do this test, and he was cramming, all of his studying and stuff like that. And how the episode was described to me is that as he was about to take the test, like words and math formulas and stuff were like coming out of his like mouth and brain, and like they were just coming out of him, and so he was like trying to get them back. And again, it was very paranormal. He was trying to get it back in his stomach and trying to like eat it, kind of thing. And basically at the end, like, he's like throwing up all these math formulas. He can't keep it in, and then Little Slugger kills him. And I never saw this episode. I don't know what it looks like, but it was described to me, and for some reason that was the episode I got a nightmare about. I don't know why, but it was. It was that one. Of all the episodes, that was the one that gave me nightmares. I don't know why. It was weird. So for whatever reason, if you just like tell me about horror things, like, I get more scared of it and more likely to have a nightmare about it, rather than if I actually see it, which I guess kind of makes sense, but it's still really bizarre to me. But I know this effect is real, like when you tell somebody about this, because I have another story I have to mention. So when I was in 5th or 6th grade, that was the craze of like the Bloody Mary experiments and stuff like that. For those of you who don't know, it's like the Candyman, Bloody Mary, whatever. They all revolve around the same thing. You do some like ritual, and that person comes out and like takes your soul or something. I don't know, like something stupid like that. So when I was like 12, I had a clique of girls I hung out with a lot for hanging out, for sleepovers. And so there was a sleepover we had where we we were told about this Bloody Mary thing, and I had heard of it, but I didn't know anything of it. And someone, like, one of my friends swore that it could happen to somebody, and so we looked up how to do Bloody Mary, and you're supposed to do things like say this chant in front of a mirror with no windows, and then like turn around 3 times or something. And so then we all went in the bathroom of our friend's house, and we chanted it. We said, like, Bloody Mary, and did the thing 3 times. And, like, 2 of the girls ran out of the room. And me and one of the other girls, I think it was 4 of us, stayed to see if it would happen. And nothing happened, because of course it didn't. But and so we all kind of freaked out about it, but nothing had happened. So we're like, oh, okay, I guess that's fine. I made the mistake later that night of looking more into the Bloody Mary stuff, and I read somewhere that if you do that ritual but you don't but nothing happens, that one of 3 things was gonna happen. Either A, the next time you like took a bath or took a shower, and you leave and then you come back, it would be filled with blood. Or 2, I forget if there was a 3rd one, but I know the other one was basically she'd come out of your closet and kill you in your sleep. So I read about this the next night, and I'm like, because I was there at the sleepover, nothing happened, and then when I came home the next day, I looked into it, and I see these. I forget if there was a 3rd one, but I remember it was a bloody bath, and like she kills you in your sleep with a knife. And so I couldn't sleep that night because I had to take a shower, and I turned on the water, and I'm telling myself, like, sensibly, like, Sarah, this isn't real. But I turn on the water, and I walk away, and I, like, tentatively, like, look into the bathroom to see if it had been filled with blood. And of course there was no blood. And so that was fine. But then, I forget if there was a 2nd one again, but I knew the other one was, well, if those don't work, they're just gonna kill you in your sleep. And so I'm trying to go to bed, and I can't sleep. I wake up to every single little noise. I keep waking up and looking at the closet, and I just didn't sleep that night at all. I think that was like a Saturday night at church the next day. It was awful, and I had no sleep. So moral of the story, I did not get killed off by Bloody Mary. Now, the reason I have to say this story, because here's the funniest part about this story. So that happened to me when I was like 12, right? In high school, I told this story to a couple of my friends in high school because I thought it was hilarious about how I did that. And so I mentioned these things. I don't do Bloody Mary. I know Bloody Mary isn't real. But I say this stuff, and I found out like 2 to 3 months later, because I think I brought it up again or something, and 2 of my friends had told me, they're like, Sarah, the day you told me that story, I couldn't sleep that night. Like, they were, for whatever reason, because I told them, they became terrified. And so they weren't able to sleep that night. So they wanted me to stop telling that story. I was like, really? You guys didn't even do the ritual. So yeah, so apparently just telling a story is scary enough, I guess. So that's about it. So I was gonna begin this episode by explaining an actual scary, like my life in danger thing that happened to me when I was younger, and I didn't. So I guess I'll just say that for another episode. We'll see. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I hope something amazing happens to you. Without further ado, I hope to see you all in the next episode. Bye-bye!